Hello everybody, my name is Jerry Fisher. I'm a life and career coach in Baltimore, Maryland, here in the United States. The topic for this video is going to be motivation. I have 3 tips or 3 areas of focus that I'd like to share with you about what you can do to boost your motivation. But before we get started, I just wanted to introduce the topic by saying that primarily what I do is I work with people so that they can reach their goals quicker and easier. And the goals that my clients work on, they really range. There are a whole bunch of different types. I would say that most people are interested in some kind of career goal. So I work with a lot of people who, for example, they'd like to transition to a new career. They're unhappy doing what they're doing now and they'd like to do something more interesting. But it can really be anything. People come to me because they'd like to lose weight or save more money. Or some people come in and say that they're a little shy and they'd like to make more friends. It doesn't matter. I help them with any personal goal that they'd like to make progress with. Now, when people are working towards their goals, emotions come into play. We're all human, right? And so we can split the emotions into emotions that help the person to move toward their goal and then emotions that actually get in the way and make it a lot harder. So in that second category, that would be things like people feeling low energy or feeling depressed or getting angry a lot or frustrated, or maybe they're very nervous and worried. They're really intimidated or overwhelmed. And so that would cause them to want to move away from the goal that they say that they'd really like to implement in their lives. So in those cases, what I do is I help people to recognize the negative emotion and turn it down and try to get it out of the way so they can take action. Then there are the positive emotions, or the emotions that actually help people to reach their goals. And so the 2 that I think of most often are energy and motivation. And the one emotion that I work with in terms of which emotion can really help somebody to reach their goals, it would be motivation. And it's something that a lot of my clients say that they'd like more of, and that's why they seek me out as a coach. So the first thing that I have to help people with is that people often have the cart before the horse when it comes to motivation. When they first come to see me, they usually say something to the effect of, Jerry, I'd really like to start working on that goal. I know I've got to do my resume, or I know I need to actually go out and practice my mindfulness skills a little bit. But I'm not feeling like it yet. I don't feel the motivation. So I'm either going to wait until I feel motivated, or Jerry, maybe you can just kind of make me feel motivated now. And unfortunately, I don't have the magic pill. I don't have the ability to do something really tricky or really quick to help somebody to feel instantly motivated. But this is what I can do, and this is part of the approach that I use. I help people to learn techniques so that they can boost their own motivation. And so I'm going to share 3 of those techniques with you today. The first technique is a very quick technique, a really quick tactic for breaking out of that problem of wanting to wait for motivation before taking action, and I'll share that one with you. So it's kind of a down and dirty how to get it done quick. The second thing I'll share with you is how to assess whether what kind of motivation really works for you and how to manage that for yourself. And then the third thing that I'll do is I'll talk a little bit about the power of focus when it comes to motivation and how important it is for you to maintain a helpful focus, one that's likely to help you to feel energized and to keep you moving. So let's start with the easiest one. I love this technique. I use it all the time, and I have, truth be told, I have to say that I am a really good procrastinator. So I'm very good at helping my clients with procrastination because I've struggled with it myself. But my best technique for moving past my own procrastination is I make a deal with myself. I actually say, Jerry, if you do this activity for 30 minutes, like I'll make a deal with myself. I'll say, just do it for 30 minutes. And then at the end of the 30 minutes, if I'm truly hating it and I just can't do it for another minute longer, I give myself permission to put it aside and I don't have to deal with it for the rest of the day. I'll pick it up at some other time in the future. Now, this is what normally happens for me, is that once I get involved with something for 30 minutes, I'll use a really simple example. Let's say I need to clean my desk. and I'm cleaning it up. And at first I'm a little grumpy, I'm really not feeling it, there's no motivation there. But then I get lost in the process. I kind of forget that I have no motivation, and I'm focusing more on where I want to put the papers, where I want to put the pens, how I want to throw some things away and file some things. And I actually almost never remember to check at the half-hour mark because I've gotten into it so much that I can actually go for an hour or two and I can complete the task of organizing my desk and cleaning my desk. So that's the best, quickest, most efficient way that I know of to reverse that cart before the horse situation. Take action first, wait for motivation to come later. It's a great technique. I highly recommend it. Now, that doesn't solve all of the problems around motivation. Sometimes it takes a little bit more talking to yourself and a little bit more strategy in terms of how you can boost your energy and boost your focus and motivation. And what I recommend is that you really, first of all, understand what motivates you. And generally speaking, people are in one of two different camps when it comes to motivation. People are either positively motivated or negatively motivated. And it's important for you to understand which one you are. Positively motivated people want to take an action because of the good things that are going to come from it. Positively motivated people love rewards. They love the good stuff. Negatively motivated people want to complete the task because they want to avoid any punishment or they want to avoid any bad outcome that might come if they fail to do the activity. So it's very important. You need to understand which one motivates you. I had a client recently who said, "Oh, I'm positively motivated," because of course that sounds cooler. But then when we talked a little bit, it turned out that really he was all about avoiding bad things happening. And so we needed to change our language and change our focus so that he can maintain the focus on, I'm going to avoid bad things and that'll make me feel good. It's very important. And I happen to be a positively motivated person. But just to give you an example of how that plays out with one particular task or activity, let's consider somebody who wants to buy a house. And the reason why they want to purchase a house is because they no longer want to put money into rent, that they want some good outcome instead of just paying a landlord the rent. A positively motivated person will want to buy the house and avoid paying rent because that person wants a return on their investment. A positively motivated person would be, yes, I'm going to get some money back after I sell this house. A negatively motivated person would say, I feel like a fool because I'm just wasting all this money sending it to the landlord, and once I buy my house I'm going to feel much better that I won't be making that mistake anymore. So notice that difference. Something good comes out of it, positively motivated. Avoiding something bad coming out of it, negatively motivated. Now, the third thing has to do with focus. And it's this really basic concept that if you take a complicated situation, if you look at it from one angle, it can look really attractive. It can look very obviously something that you want to do, and you can see a lot of good in it. And you can look at something from a different angle and think, whoa, I didn't recognize those other things would happen. I'm not motivated anymore. So sometimes motivation is the result of focusing in a way that's not helpful, and it's helpful to change your focus. So what I thought I would do for this part of the video is just give you a little bit of an example of the power of focus. If I said to you, I have this project, and the project's going to last 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, and this project is going to be one in which you're going to feel pain and discomfort almost every day, definitely every week, that you'll have hardly any social life, and you won't be able to make any money during the project, definitely not during the first 3 or 4 years. What do you say? Would you like to sign up? And most people would say, I'm not feeling it. I don't know how you feel, but that's not very motivating to me. It actually sounds kind of negative. However, if I said, let's look at this at another angle, and I'll share with you some other true things about this. Would you be interested in being very physically fit, having a terrific looking body? Many people would admire you. You'd get to travel to different countries around the world and experience different cultures. You'd have the chance to win medals for yourself and your country. And should you succeed at that level, you'll make millions of dollars in endorsements. So what do you say? Does that sound motivating? Now, for the people who have the ability to actually do that, yes, that's very motivating. So we're talking about the same activity, only we're talking about it from different angles. And as you've probably guessed by now, I'm talking about an Olympic athlete. So if the Olympic athlete, or a person who has the skills to be an Olympic athlete, if they focus on all of the pain and not making money and not having a social life, then guess what? Their motivation will drop. But if they focus on traveling around the world, the friends that they would make, the admiration they would get, and the potential endorsement money, then it sounds very, very motivating. So that's a great example of figuring out which angle is more motivating for you and trying to stay on the motivating side and not letting your attention or your focus drift. So that's pretty much it. Now, I've shared with you 3 techniques that are really good for addressing your own motivation and for boosting it. But as you can imagine, boosting your motivation and understanding motivation might take a little bit of practice and a little bit more research for you to get really good at this. So what we're going to do is at the end of the video, we'll include a web address for my blog site. And I highly recommend that you go to the blog site because I have a number of different essays and articles about how you can maintain focus and how you can boost motivation, and I think that that might be very helpful for you. So thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope you stay motivated, and I hope it's a great part of you reaching your goals. Thank you.